So in this session, we are going to study aggregation. This is one important step in the data pre-processing. What we are doing in the aggregation, we are combining two or more objects into a single object. What are the what is the what are the motivation for this aggregation? First thing, just because of this aggregation, we can reduce the size of the data. Second, the granularity of the analysis will be changing. For example, if you're analyzing any portfolio, for example, the daily profit in a bank, when you're doing the aggregation, first you will aggregate all the data for a month. So you can, so combining those 30 rows, you are creating only single row. So automatically the amount of data is reducing, and you can analyze, you will get a better perspective. Okay, monthly profit from this branch is how much. And second one, just because of this aggregation, we can improve the stability of the data also. For studying this one, I'm using one daily precipitation time series data only. You can download this data from this particular link. First, I'm opening the data using this Panda library. These are, it's having date and a precipitation rate is there. First thing is I have to convert this date. If you want to do the aggregation based on this time feature only, time attribute only, first you have to convert that argument into date time format. For that thing, you can utilize pandas to underscore date time function, and after that you can convert all the data into date time format. Then you can check. So first we can plot the daily precipitation across all the days. If you are plotting, what is this one? So from this graph, what is the problem for this thing? Actually, it's very quite chaotic, because we can't find out any information from this thing. But if you next step means using aggregation, we are going to combine the data for a month, and then we can plot. Okay, it's better than the previous chart, but still it is having the problem, because it's not from this also we can't extract much information, or we can't find out which, yeah, almost little bit informations we are getting, like in 2000 for some there you can see too much of precipitation. All these information we can get. So here you can say daily precipitation, the variance equal to this much only, zero. So the variance information is very low here. Here it is increased. And when, if you are making a graph, if you are plotting this one using this group, using this aggregation, we are combining all the data for actually annual data only we are going to plot. So for getting this annual data, you can use the group by function, and for that thing you can use pandas grouper function also. After this means you can see the variation is increased, and from this graph actually we can extract we can extract more information, like the precipitation rate was very high in 2011 compared to all other things, and it was very low during 2002 and 2015. All these informations we can find out. So obviously aggregation, it will give more clarity about the kind of information we can extract it from the data, and it's actually automatically it is reducing the computational complexity, because the size of the data we are reducing. So we can do the analysis for a longer period without much uh, computational task. Next we have to check how we can sample the data. Means in many cases we have to take few samples from the data, and how we can achieve this one, and what are the methods are available. Two type of methods are available. One is one is without replacement, and the second one is with replacement. So the problem for the without replacement and with replacement, when you are, so we are going to explain that this one with one data set. So you can try with any data the same thing. because for aggregation we have to use a time series data, because we have to aggregate based on that. We aggregated, we combine the objects based on the time only. That's why here we are using the breast cancer data set that is available in UCA machine learning repository. You can check, this is the initial data. Then you are first using this dot sample function, you are taking 3 samples. Now you can, the next means this is randomly we are taking 3 samples, and next we are going to take 15% of the data without replacement we are taking. So what is the form, which function we have to use? Dot sample. Fraction means it's a 15 percentage, so 0.15, and random state we are putting 1. So number of, after that you can check, is there any duplicate? So there is no duplicate. Now after this means here in this function dot sample you have to, you can give an option like replace equal to true. Replace equal to true means what you are going to do. First, for example, first data you are taking, assume first you took, you are having 100 data. Out of that one, the first time randomly you pick the 10th row. Then again you are keeping the 10th row again back into your data, and next time you are randomly taking some 71 row you got. Again you are replacing that 71th row into the data. Again you are picking. Sometimes you will get 10 again. So the chance for getting the duplicate is very high in this method. So here what we did, we took 15% of the data from the 15% of the data we are taking as a sample, and then we are checking is there any duplicate. So you can see number of duplicate rows is equal to 4. Now I am going to explain one more thing. What is this random state equal to 1? Random state equal to 1 means so you're giving, it's a randomly they are picking, that is the, but whenever you are giving a random state equal to 1, you will get in the sample, you will get the same set of data points only. So what is the purpose of this one? If you're going to compare two models, or if you're going to tune your hyperparameters and everything, so you need same set of data for the training and testing purpose. Otherwise, every time if you are changing the data itself means automatically you can't analyze. Okay, you can't tell. Okay, this parameter is good, or otherwise this method is good, and all these things are not possible. So this, if you're using the random state equal to 1, you can, the same set of data only you will get. Again, if you are running this one how many times, 10 times, 20 times, or in how many times, you will get the same set of data only. This is the sampling. So in sampling, two methods we have to do, without replacement and with replacement. Next is a discretization. What is the use of a discretization? If you want to convert a continuous valued attribute into a categorical attribute, you have to do the discretization. So normally we can use discretization. You have to divide one particular value. Maybe in this case, they are going to expand from the same breast cancer data set. We are having clump thickness is the, so you are telling you have to make a 5 bins, means automatically they are making the 5 bins, and in each bins they are you are finding how many data, how many entries are there. All these informations you can give. Here also you are creating this bin cut, your clump thickness you are making into 4, and then you are finding count in each interval how many data is, how what is the frequency of each bin we are calculating.